Hello and welcome back to the podcast. Today I want to talk about making money and managing money. I talked about this in the secret podcast that I released to my waitlist, but I want to give you guys the abridged version because a lot of people they complain and they whine about how they need to make more money, make more money, make more money. And really it's a double-edged sword because there is this topic that tends to occur when you do make more money, and that's called lifestyle inflation. So I want to kind of break things down today, especially because I received a comment on my TikTok, and the comment read, "More money, more problems. I see people struggle and then they make $250,000." And so I really want to break this down. So making money, managing money, very much like literally as it sounds. You have one side of the coin. Like, I want to imagine a quarter, you have heads and tails, right? On the head side, you have making money. The tail side, you have managing money. You cannot have one without the other. It just doesn't work that way. And when I saw this comment about more money, more problems, I was like, okay, this is a limiting belief. Like, this is a limiting belief, or like a money belief extraordinaire. Like, more money, more problems is not necessarily the way that it works, but I want to use this as an example. So when this person said more money, more problems, the first thing that came to my mind was that is your belief. That it's not the belief of every single person who is looking to make more money that they will have more problems. In all honesty, I feel like the more money I make, the easier my life gets. And I'm not talking in terms of like happiness, or like, I'm not talking about emotions. I mean, just simply like, I can hire people to do my editing, and I can hire people to do my scheduling and my automations and my emails, right? Like, more money allows for me to take a lot of responsibility off of my own plate so that I could focus on responsibilities that are those of a CEO, right? Like keeping the culture of a company, or making sure that we're headed in the right direction, or making sure I'm supporting the team that I have, or making sure, like, it's much higher level tasks than, oh, well, I need to do a camera graphic, right? So that is one way that I view money, that the more money I have, the easier my life and my business becomes. And when this person said, I've seen people struggle and then they make $250,000, that really doesn't support their initial argument of more money, more problems. Like, you just stated more money, more problems, and then in another sentence following, you say, I see people struggle, as in struggle through problems, and then they make a shitload of money. What? Like, how does that negate, like, where's the logic in that sentence, in that comment, period? And so I really want to bring it up because this is where the managing money comes in, right? Like, you see people struggle when they're not making a whole lot of money, and then all of a sudden they make a whole lot of money. And then it's like, well, what happened to the money? And like, for instance, there's someone who I am connected with, their bookkeeping client, and they had a hard time managing their money because they took all of their money and they kind of used it in a very I'm trying to find the right word, like addictive way. Okay. Not to give anything away, but more or less, like, they used it for a particular outcome that they were looking to generate even more money, right? And that didn't happen. And obviously it took a downfall, it took a turn, and things weren't able to be covered. And it's not because there was ever a problem. Like, there might have been an internal problem, but it's not like there was ever an external problem when he was making that much money, or when people make that much money in general. Oftentimes there is this scale of like, well, you do need to make more money. There is a point that yes, absolutely, you do need to make more money. And like, let's just think of the average, college graduate, right? When I was graduating college, I got paid $35,000 a year. And I'm hoping that that average salary has gone up in the last 9 years, but I don't know because I didn't Google it. Maybe I could do that right now. But in any case, when you have average salary of college graduates. Okay. As of February 2024, the average hourly wage for a college graduate in New Jersey is $63.02 an hour. That seems massively incorrect. in any case, when you have a position, right, you're making a certain amount of money per year, and the idea is to stay in that position long enough so that you're making more money and you get a pay raise, right? And you're going to get a pay raise however many times a year, however many years, whatever the case may be, you get a pay raise, right? Now, obviously, there will be a point where you're making enough money that you're living comfortably, and for a lot of people, they're okay with that. That's a good amount of money. They're happy with it. They're comfortable with it. But for a lot of other people, they're looking for more. They're looking for abundance. They're looking for an excess of, right? And it's a double-edged sword, because a lot of the time, the way that you can do that is just by simply managing what it is that's coming into your pocket right now. And in all honesty, if somebody's making $250,000 in a year and they're spending it all, that is called recklessness, in my opinion. That is like, you can hate me for it, you could cancel me, I don't care. If you're spending $250,000, that is a money management problem. That's not a making money problem, that's a money management problem. And there are a lot of people in this country who do have a money management problem, believe it or not. And that's why I say it's two sides of the token. So I wanted to come in and break that down, because those two skills are different and they are both necessary. Not just one, not just the other, both of them. You can't have a quarter. You can't just have half a quarter. You can't do anything with half a quarter. You need a whole quarter. And that's what managing money and making money is. It's one whole quarter. You need to have the whole quarter. You can't just have the heads. You can't just have tails. Otherwise, nobody would take it, because it's like, what is it? What does it say on a dollar bill when it's like, if this dollar bill is like wrecked in any way, people won't accept it. And it goes the same. Why wouldn't it be the same for coins? It's the same for coins. If the coin is messed up in any way, they're not going to take it. And that's what managing money and making money is. So I wanted to come in and just outline that for y'all really quick, because that is something that has been on my heart and on my mind for quite a while. And it is the truth of the matter in the situation. It's both. You need to have both. Okay. Yes, making money can be great and fantastic and like flashy, and you can market it. But at the same time, if you don't manage it the right way, you're going to have a really hard time down the road in the future. So just think about that. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to the podcast. If you have another 30 seconds and if you wouldn't mind giving the podcast a review, I would greatly appreciate it. It helps get the podcast ranked and recommended to new audiences all over the world. I would really appreciate it. And I want to thank you guys for taking the time to tune in, and I will talk to you soon.